Hey everyone, it's Yulia Kasarenko. We are back today to practice how to create use case diagrams, or to be more precise, business use case diagrams. If you have watched my previous video about advantages of use case diagrams, then you probably just want to get started. If you haven't watched that video, I have posted the link in the description. Definitely have a look. But this video is very practical. We are going to do a really quick lesson on how to create those diagrams. Now, I will use three tools, and I have chosen the tools that are usually widely accessible. First of all, I'm going to use PowerPoint. Now, PowerPoint is really not the best tools for diagramming, especially for complex diagrams. However, if you have nothing else at your disposal and you need to do something really quickly, PowerPoint will do, and you can definitely use just that. The second tool will be Microsoft Visio. A lot of us who use Office will have access to Visio. Visio is excellent, has lots of stencils, lots of capabilities for diagramming and even more. So we'll do that next, and then we will use Lucidchart. And Lucidchart is an online tool, and in that tool you can sign up for a free account. It will give you access to just a few diagrams at a time, but lots and lots of templates. So Lucidchart is super user friendly, and if you're just learning, if you want to become a business analyst, if you want to learn how to create more diagrams, not only it's easy to use, but it gives you lots of hints and lots of help and good practices to help you create those nice looking diagrams, for example, for your professional portfolio. So this is what I will use today. I will also give you a link to free templates that I've created for use case diagrams to create them in PowerPoint and in Visio, and I'll provide you with a link to that, or you can find it in the description. Without further ado, let's get started. So here is what I'm going to do. I have my template open for a use case diagram, and here is my template. This is what I will share with you, but of course we will start from scratch. Now, the hardest part in a use case diagram is just that stick person, right? So the stick people, there's lots of stencils you can find. There are some online images. If you go in and do insert picture in PowerPoint, you can search. For example, what you can do is you can search for use case actor. Now, don't just search for actor, right? Because you're just gonna get lots of actors. Instead, you just go and search for a use case actor. You may find some online pictures that you may use. Make sure you just use Creative Commons so that you don't violate any rules. However, I will also give you an example, an actor that you can copy and paste from my template. It's also extremely easy to create that from scratch, right? This is basically just a circle and a couple of lines, and you group them together. You can always create your own if you like to use, different proportions or different colors. You can totally do that. So for our purposes, let's just pick one of the stencils, and we are going to create a new blank slide, and I'm going to work on that. So I'm just going to paste it here so that I don't lose my actor. First thing we do is we drop a system boundary, which is just a simple rectangle, and it's a good practice to just keep it white. Makes your diagram clean, so just do no fill, and just simple black or dark gray outline will do. Yeah, you don't have to put title here. You may put title here. It depends on where this picture will go. If it will go into another document, you may want to do a title, but we'll just leave it clean. Then you're going to name your boundary. This is the name of your solution or system or application or whatever it may be. So I am going to give my solution a name, and you want to keep it aligned to the top. So let's just call it online ordering system. That's it. That's your boundary. Now think about your actors. Who is going to use your solution? Who needs to use it? what you can do with the stencil is you can just select the label and update it, or you can always ungroup it and just create labels separately as text boxes. But in this case, the beauty of the template is that they stick together and they are center aligned. So imagine you have a customer, and we're gonna use a similar actors to the ones that I used in my previous video example. Maybe you want a prospective customer, and then customer, and I'm just gonna keep it simple. And then, by the way, one of the best features of PowerPoint is Control D, and when you do Control D, whatever you selected gets copied. So I'm gonna do Control D, and this allows me to keep these the same size, which is really important. If you have a diagram with all kinds of different size and stretches or whatever, it's not gonna look good. So one of the important skills and habits you have to learn when you're creating diagrams is to keep in everything consistent size wise and font wise, etc. So let's just stick with this for actors. What you're gonna do next is you are going to drop use cases inside the box, and use cases are those features and functions that will be important to these actors. Why do I need to use the system, and what do I need to use it for? So we just use the ovals, and I like the ovals that are more elongated. Some people make them more round, but I really prefer this, and it actually helps me to fit more in. So I'm just going to do a blank oval again. It's just simple outline, and inside the oval you will name your use cases and keep those names as simple as possible. And let me just get my standard font, for example, view menu. So I'm gonna make font a little smaller so that it's consistent. For example, prospective customer may need to view menu, and the customer may need to view menu. So first I'm gonna connect, and I will just use the same black line to connect. And then, by the way, you can either continue using lines, so you can do Control D, whatever works better for you. And now what my diagram is showing is that these two roles need to view menus within this solution. The other good habit you build is keep your use cases the same size. So again, you select it, you do Control D, which gives you a nice copy of the same size, and the font is already set to the same format. And you may say prospective customer needs to create an account. So drop the article and just say create account, and then just Control D, because again that gives you same color and same width of the line. And now you say that prospective customer also needs to create an account. And then, for example, the third use case you may want to do is place order. So I'm going to Control D again, and then move my order here. And by the way, again, another nice feature of PowerPoint is you can arrange and align things. So you can align them centrally, and you can also align them, distribute them vertically, so that there is a nice spacing here. And then perhaps, oh, of course I need to rename it, place order. Now you don't need to use plurals like place orders. You don't need to use articles like place the order or place an order. Keep it as simple as possible, and always follow this format: verb and subject, which is usually a noun. And who can place an order? Let's say only customer can. And if you are a prospective customer, first you need to create an account, which makes you a customer, and then you can place an order. And this is it. That's all you need to do. Then you'll do the same on this side, and maybe on this side you have a service rep, or you may have a meal manager who sets menus. And I'll say okay, my meal manager will create menus or update menus. For example, I came up with a new type of sandwich, and I'm gonna update it and make sure that this new type of sandwich is available, and after that it will be available in our new system. So I'm gonna connect this use case to the meal manager, and then let's come up with one use case for our service rep. For example, service rep may modify orders. Let's imagine that for some reason the customer wants to change the address, but maybe the meal preparation already started, or any other circumstance where you don't just want customer to do it. Maybe you want that to be done by customer service rep, and then let's give them the one of the use cases to do, and that's it. That's all you need to do. Of course, if you have more actors, you add them. If you have more use cases, you add them. You try to arrange them. You keep everything nice and neat, and you're done. And that's a very, very simple use case diagram in PowerPoint. In my template, I'll give you a little bit more hints and tips and suggestions how to use the template and about the use case in general. So definitely use that and have fun. Okay, now we're going to move to Visio. Again, for those Visio fans out there, there used to be some great stencils for actors and use cases. In my version, they disappeared, and honestly, I don't want to bother and look for them because, again, it's very simple to create your own stencil for an actor with just a couple of shapes like circles and lines, and group it with a little label like here, and then use it. And same with ovals. So again, I will provide you with a template that you can download and with all the instructions similar to the one before, and I will just do one from scratch. So same way what you do here, again, you can copy, of course, a boundary from the template, but you can just as easily just drop a rectangle. And again, I like to use white, but if you need to, or in extended use case diagrams, if you have multiple systems, you can give them different colors. Here is our boundary. Let's give it a nice darker line. You can just drop a text box with the name of the system. So I'm just going to use a text box for that. And a good trick is to just fit it in, and then if you center it, it will be right in the center. Online ordering system. I'm going to get rid of the lines, no line. I'm going to make my text box text black, and that's my boundary. And see, I haven't capitalized all the words here. In previous version I did. You just have to choose your style and be consistent. And now I'm just going to grab one of the actors. Let me use a different one and just copy it over here. Okay, so again, the nice thing about your actors is choose the size that works for you, and then just copy it so that all of these are the same size. So what I'm gonna do here, because I don't have a lot of actors, I'm gonna make it big. I'll increase it in size first, and always by diagonal. If I do it by this or by any other handle, it will be distorted. And I'm gonna increase the size of the font just using these buttons, go up or down to make it more visible. Let me just make the whole thing a little bigger, and then again I can zoom in on the label and I can say customer and give it a name. And then as I select, again, always use pointer tool to select. You can duplicate it, right? We're still in the Microsoft Word. Control D works, so you can duplicate and set your actors on the same sides. So this time I'm not going to do as much because you're getting the main part. Let's draw an elliptical shape. Another trick you should always remember, it's so handy when we're doing diagrams, you don't always have to go through coloring the lines and fills. You can select the other shape, for example my big shape, and you can do format painter and drop it here, and this will give you the same format. Okay, so now inside my oval I'm going to type in the name of the use case, and if you type it in, it's always going to be nicely centered. So I'm going to say view menu here, and then I'm going to connect. So I'm going to use a connector, and here the trick is to use the connector to the shape. So let me just try again and connect here. So here I just wanted to show you what happens. The connectors in Visio are a little bit tricky because they like to glue to other surfaces. So what I'm going to do here, I created another type of connectors. You can just copy it and paste it, because you do want straight lines for your connectors and not anything angular. So connect it to the oval first. Okay, let's do this and connect it to the oval. Okay, all right, there we go. View the menu, and that's it. Again, that's how you fill it in. Remember Control D to create ovals of the same shape. Again, Visio, similar features as PowerPoint for alignments. Always try to align as much as possible so that your diagram doesn't look haphazard. And that's it, you're done. So again, you have a template for this, feel free to use it. The third version I'm going to show you is a Lucidchart. And Lucidchart, you can easily look it up online. I only use free account. I'm going to just open a blank diagram and then I'll search for a template. Lucidchart has fantastic templates that are easy to use. So I'm going to say File, New, from Template. And I'm going to search for use case, and you'll see a mix of templates that are free and not free, but there's usually plenty of free templates for us. So just choose the simple one. For example, I'm going to click on this one. As you can see here, you have even examples that you can use for specific use cases like loan approval, travel reservation, etc. Just click on this and say create document, and it will give you the stick people and it will give you the ovals. So let's just get this started. All right, there's even a tutorial if you're interested. Now, even though we have this diagram, we are going to just start from scratch. Okay, so I'm gonna delete everything, but we'll have our shapes in use. I'm going to drop my boundary. So see under use case, I'm gonna drop the container. We're gonna stretch it as much as we need to and give it a name. Online ordering system. Then we're going to drop our first stick actor. Give it a name. Lucidchart is very easy to use, so you just start typing customer. Then think about the scale of your stick person, how big you need it to be. So you may want to make this a little smaller. Again, use the corners. And then here is your use case. And again, for business use case diagram, just use a simple oval. Now you may want to again make your use case a little bit less round if you like. Double click change the name, and then you simply connect. So now I zoomed in to show you how to connect these two shapes. What you will do is you can hover over the shape, make one of these red, click on it, and drag to the object you want to connect it to, in our case the customer. By default it may do a little arrow, but what you can do is you can come here and you can change this to no arrow. Just say none. That's it. Now Control D still works, so select Control D. You will get another use case. Give it another name, for example, place order. Connect. And you can align the shapes either manually or using align features here as well through arrange menu. That's all you need to do in Lucidchart. And again, use Control D, use consistent lines, consistent fonts, copy and replicate your actors so that you always have the same shape. You can move your actor around to arrange things the way you want, and you just keep going. That's it for today. Hopefully you learned a little bit about how to create use case diagrams in a few very simple steps. Now remember, these business use case diagrams are business friendly. They're easy to understand, they're easy to use, they give you a way to communicate the scope of a project or a solution easily. So add them to your arsenal. Definitely can come in handy. You can do the same just on the whiteboard, of course, if you don't have your visual tools, or when you are in the room, feel free to do that. And come back for more videos from the Picture Speak series on the White channel. I'm Yulia Kosarenko. Until next time, take care.